It's now time for the Coaches Show on News Talk 1250 KBRF and KBRFradio.com, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and by Running Stitches. Now for the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe, here's Craig Olson.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe. And before we get into the interview portion of the program, a reminder for you to text the keyword Viking to 321-1926 for your chance to win a $25 gift certificate from the Viking Cafe. We'll be drawing the winner later in the program, so do that now, 321-1926, keyword Viking, and you might win that gift certificate. We just had great omelet and hash browns and toast from the Viking. It's one of the perks about the Coaches Show. That's the enticement for guys like Matt Johnson to get out of bed in the morning and come here.
I'm not passing that up.
It's not a conversation with me. It's the omelet or whatever the Viking has prepared for us, because you can't go wrong with the Vikings. So Matt Johnson is here, head coach of the Otters. What a week, 3 games. I just told Matt it seems like a 3-game week's a light week lately because of all the rescheduling that's been going on. But you guys have handled it pretty well as far as the number of games you've had to have without a lot of practice prep time.
Yeah, and I've been really impressed with our kids and how they've, one of the growth areas for us really has been defensive game plans, execution of a game plan. And as we get better at that, a lot of those games we've seen some pretty good things, a lot of improvement. So our kids, on little practice or short practice, and really for the most part, we've been in and out in a little over an hour. When you have 3-game weeks, you worry about their legs. We're not playing a ton of kids, and we've hit some adversity here lately. That's some illness and injury that we've had to dig deep, I would say, and go to our bench and find some different kids that can help us out. It's been really fun to see those kids step up. But yeah, the practice to game ratio right now isn't necessarily perfect, but our kids are handling it really well.
Coaches need to adjust their practice plans somewhat. And I would guess when you have injuries and illnesses and a lot of games, walkthroughs are even more valuable than regular all-out practice, right?
Yeah, we've talked with our kids about our conference schedule, and we're now hitting the second time through, right? So with Wilmer and Sartell, it's our second. We'll play Tech on Monday, and that will be the first one because of reschedules.
Right.
But the second time through, we feel like we can. We have the resources to plan and prepare our kids with a game plan. And so, some of those, not necessarily walkthroughs, but really focused, intentional, short burst practices. Here's what we're going to see. Here's how we're going to guard it.
Yeah.
If we know their call, here's what you're going to hear us say to remind you how we're going to guard it. And my assistants are so good at preparing that. Between Ryan, Brad, and Taylor, our kids show up and are prepared by some of the best coaches that I've ever been around. And so it's pretty fun to lean on those guys and get some of their knowledge, expertise. They really enjoy it. They're really good at it. And so I'm thankful for those guys and what they're putting in. And then our kids take those game plans and put them into play.
Yeah, and then, boy, they sure did this week. Let's talk about the week. It started last Saturday. Bemidji beat you 85-75. You started out pretty good in that game. I think you're up 13-5, and then they went on like a 20-2 run or 22-2, something like that. And that you just couldn't overcome that.
Yeah, and we talked on that. There was one possession. We were up 7. This is going to sound so. We're up 7-3.
This is coachy.
I mean, it really. You're kind of in the weeds here a little bit, but we gave up 3 or 4 offensive rebounds in one possession, and then we got a steal. So they didn't even get a bucket that possession. We came down. They got an immediate steal. Came down and got fouled attacking the rim and got to the free throw line. And that set the tone, right? One possession set the tone for a 4-5 minute stretch that they were able to open a big lead that we battled back and got it close, but could never quite overcome. And it really started with one possession of not boxing out, not winning a 50-50 ball. And that set a tone and gave them belief. And we talk about winning plays, and you don't always know which ones are going to be that. and then we responded really well. We went to Wilmer and just made winning plays. And then we played, right, last night, made winning plays, and we're just consistency of attention to detail and outworking teams.
That Bemidji game, you saw Jacob Gents do what he's done for you all year. He's having a great year. I mean, every night out, he's so consistent, and he does so many different things. You know, every stat category, he's right there near the top or at the top.
Yeah. Last night, scoring was really hard, but those last 2 games, I think he was 20, 10, and 5, 20 point, 10 rebound, 5 assists. And those are, especially at the high school level, those are really big numbers. And he just keeps getting better. But the most impressive thing for him, really, I think, for us, his steadiness. He's just unflappable. He will work equally as hard, no matter the situation, no matter who's guarding him. If we have the ball, if we're on defense, if we're at practice or in a game, he just works the same, and it's harder than everybody else.
Yep.
And that's a huge compliment to him. But it's fun to see the work he puts in and then how it's translating into game night.
And we know Nolan Felstool can shoot the 3. We've seen that, and he showed against Bemidji in that game. If you're going to come back from a deficit like that, you've got to have some guys hitting some shots. Well, Nolan had 24 that night, so we know he can do that, right? And did they kind of slack off on your 3-point game, or were they giving him pressure? Was it one of those he's hitting those even though there's a hand in his face?
Yeah, a combination. I don't think Bemidji's necessarily known as a defensive juggernaut. You know, offensively they can really score. So I don't think that they maybe emphasize that side of the floor you're going to get some looks. But Nolan works really hard to get his looks. He moves really well without the ball, and he's learning some other ways to try to create space, which he doesn't need a lot of. He's got one of the quickest and most consistent triggers. You look at his shot, it's a simple shot, which is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It's not complicated. He gets it to his pocket, and it's right to a release. He gets his feet under him quick, but really, really high-level shooter that knows that if he sees the rim, he's got the green light to let it fly.
Let's talk about the whole body of work here for Micah Johnson this week, okay? Because Micah against Bemidji, 10 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. Great. You go to Wilmer, and you win on a tough court to win on, beat them by 1 point, 63-62. And one of your first comments to me was Micah did a great job on defending Avery Christensen. You got to do something to slow down their best player, and he did that. And then last night, clutch situation, goes to the free throw line to end what was a very good game for Micah all the way around, and just nails the 1-and-1 to give you a 2-point lead on your home floor in a pressure-packed situation against one of the top teams in your section.
Yeah, and one of the top teams in the state. I think they're ranked number 6 in the state in KBRF heading into yesterday, right? You know, Micah, it all goes back to preparation and work. And he's a kid that just has put in so much work to improve his game over the years, and he's been rewarded with it. You know, I think he's a guy who is willing to do anything he can to help us win. And it starts on the defensive end. You know, the job he did on Avery Christensen, I think Christensen only took 14 shots, and he's a guy who's going to take 25 shots most nights, and he just couldn't get clean looks. And it's not just Micah, but that's where it starts. Last night, playing against Maddox Lewis, who hit 8 for 12 threes the first time we played them. Last night was 2 for 7 from 3, had 11 points, and was super frustrated. He was beyond frustrated last night. And that's, again, a credit to our whole group and our whole team. But it starts with Micah. He gets the toughest assignment every night, and he takes that head on. And then when he gets to get to the free throw line late, hit a couple of clutch ones on that end of the floor, I wouldn't say it's bonus. It's really fun to see him get rewarded for the work he's put in.
Yeah, that was a great week, I think, for Micah. Also, you know, last night, well, first of all, against Wilmer, Eston Bethel had 23 points for you. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals. That's a peewee night right there. But you lost him early last night. And first of all, we hope he's back soon. But the guy stepped up. I mean, you talk about stepping up, and we talk about it a lot. Next man up, you know, who's going to pick it up for you? And you had guys do that.
Well, yeah. You know, and I always think that's a slightly more football mindset of next man up. In basketball, it's a little easier to say, well, we shrink our rotation. Well, our rotation really is has been 6 or 7 players for the most part. Eli Fullhart home sick. Pee Wee goes down. Well, 6 or 7 all turns into 4 or 5. Well, you can't play with four players. And we felt like we needed some shooting in the second half. We had a conversation as a coaching staff a couple days ago about, hey, John Abrams is playing well in practice. He just played well. So if we get a chance, let's reward him, give him an opportunity, and see what happens. And at halftime, Pee Wee said, I can't go. Hey, John, come over here. Hey, I'm not joking. You're going to start the second half. And he looked at me and said, okay. Done. I said, get out there, shoot the ball. That's what you do. Let's go. And he played 18 straight minutes.
Yeah.
So the first 18, I don't say meaningful, but meaningful minutes that he has played all came in a 2-point game against one of the best teams in the state, and he didn't back down or so it was really fun. Isaac Mock's another one who really stepped up in that, helping out, picking up a little increased role, and he's a good communicator, works really hard, defends, rebounds. So really fun to see those kids get some opportunity. Kellen Funkhauser stepped into some important minutes at the end of the first half. So kids that maybe don't always get their names written in the headlines, but they show up every day to practice, work their tails off. Then when they get an opportunity, they're ready. So it was really fun to see that happen.
Well, you hope now you can build on these 2 wins, because those are 2, I don't know if you call them signature wins, but I sure think of them that way, against 2 very good teams who are going to be tough at playoff time, both Wilmer and Sartell. So now you try to build on that. And again, we go into a 3-game week, okay? And I like what you said earlier, that you're in the second time around against these teams, because that is one of the things I just absolutely love about conference basketball, because you're going to see everybody on your home floor and on their floor.
Yep.
And, okay, we know what we did the first time, so where are we going to adjust and beat them and be better than them and better than we were the first time? And I think that goes a long way towards just proving which teams have that resiliency and that bounce-back ability, and, you just get more confident in your team when you see them come back and play better, like you did last night against Sartell. I mean, the evidence was there, and that's a great job by these guys. But how fun is that for coaches? And you talked about it a little bit, to know we're playing a team a second time, and now let's pick this thing apart and see what we can do to equip our guys tonight.
Yeah, and I would say this team has the personality that matches that really well. Some guys will be great engineers someday, right? Very logical thinkers. They want to know what's the plan. I'm going to execute the plan. If they vary off it, how do you want me to guard it? And you'll see them coming over to the bench throughout a game. Hey, what do you want me to do on this? The conversations we're having with them, asking us, hey, they flared it instead of down picked it. What do you want me to do? Okay, you know what to do. Chase it, right? And so they Micah, Jacob, Nolan, Cam, they've done a really good job. They just ask those questions, and so I think it fits perfectly for this group.
Yeah.
They like that, the preparation side of it. They want to watch more film. They want to see what's coming. This week with Tech coming, we haven't seen them, but they'll always have 2 6'7" kids on the floor, long, athletic, bouncy. We'll have to take care of the basketball and rebound. DL. That's the game where Trenton got hurt in warmups, and we were a shell of ourselves. And so that's when I think our guys are looking for. They're tough. They're physical. They play fast. They really shoot it. They're aggressive, and I think we've improved a lot. We were a young, inexperienced team at that time, and when Trenton went down, I don't think we handled that very well.
Yep.
Top to bottom, coaches, players, and so it's an opportunity. That'll be a fun opportunity for us to hopefully give them a better look. But yeah, be a fun week.
Absolutely. And Pee Wee's return, we don't know the extent of the injury right now?
Do not know. He's one of the toughest kids I've ever been around. So if he says he can't make it for a second half, he's probably hurting pretty good. And always remind ourselves, Monday is one game of 26 before we get to playoffs, and that one's not so important that rest and recovery isn't valuable. So we'll see if he's there Monday. I know he's going to tell me he's good and wants to play, but we'll have to use some common sense and discretion there.
Right. Don't want to lose him for more. So thanks, Matt.
Okay, thank you.
Matt Johnson, head coach of the Otter Boys basketball team, joining us here on our Coaches Show. We'll continue. Got some hockey coming up. with Mike Donahue. Don't go away. It's the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Just when you thought the deals were done, Minnesota Motor Company is keeping the savings rolling. They may have moved the vehicles back outside, but they've extended their indoor sales savings through the end of January. Shop in confidence and drive away in a great vehicle at a great price. Stop by the dealership or contact the sales team to learn more about the great deals. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
We are back. Welcome. Mike Donahue's sliding into the hot seat here. The head coach.
Getting all the advice from Matt out there.
Yeah, you get
exciting nights.
It's one of the nice things here about the Coaches Show. You know, you get like 2 minutes. You get to connect with a coach here and share your wealth of wisdom.
Well, whatever you call it, I guess.
Oh, that's good. But Mike's, of course, the head coach of the Otter Boys hockey team. And the Otter Boys had a busy week. Going back to last Saturday, you've had 4 games this week and not a lot of practice time. But there's a disturbing trend, Michael. You're falling behind early in all
these
games.
10 minutes. Yeah. Yep.
Can we start the game like in the middle of the first period? You know,
sometimes you wish, but those are things that you need to look at, and part of the challenges I think of coaching, and part of the challenges of being an athlete as well is looking at your pregame, looking at what we're doing to prepare and get ourselves ready, and if something's not working, let's try to change some things up, and continually trying to tweak things. I think it's no different than a system you're running, or no different than, like a forecheck, a D-zone, like what's working, what isn't working. And if things aren't working, it's not anything major or earth-shattering, I think, that you need to do, but just take a little personal reflection and see what you can do maybe a little differently the next day, and evaluate again. And did this work? Did it not work? And, just keep trying to get better every day.
Well, the encouraging thing, when I look at the last week here, when you fall behind early, but you're not out of it. You battle back, and in the third period, you're cutting goals off their lead and getting close and giving yourself a chance. But that gets to be pretty tiring, after a while, mentally and physically.
Yeah, I think especially mentally. I think our kids are going, and that shows how resilient they are. They don't let those things bother them. They keep going and plugging away, and usually there's some adjustments after the first period, and you credit them with being able to go in, make some adjustments, and sticking to the plan and sticking to what we need to do to try to right the ship during those games at those rough times. And they're so level-headed, and they're just able to continue fighting and try to climb their way back into some games.
Are we seeing a lot of quality goaltending, Mike, out there? Are there a lot of good goalies this year? It seems to me like I'm hearing that from hockey fans who watch a lot of high school hockey, that they see some pretty good goalies out there.
Well, I think it's like anything else, the specialization and, you look at hockey, especially in all these skill sessions, and now the kids have a forward coach and they have a D coach, and goalie coaching has been around for a while, but you look at I think the evolution and the techniques and the just the details that are taught to these goaltenders starting at a younger age is really starting to show the results and how good they actually are.
That game last Saturday at Crookston, we'll just skip that one because that was one of those games that the Otters got beat 5-0 in that one. And a Saturday afternoon game, and I know it's the same for both teams, but when you travel on a Saturday and you're out of your school routine, how difficult is that? And I'm sure different teams adjust differently to it, but that's got to be a tough scenario.
Yeah, and they had a lot of different things going on up there. You get to their rink, and our JV's playing at another rink, and you've got the Minnesota Crookston College playing SDSU on the rink before our game, and now you have longer periods, and your routine's a little bit off. And it was just kind of a escalation, I think, of various things. Crookston had a top line that they're big and strong and fast, and they could skate and shoot. We gave them some space and turned some pucks over, and they were good in transition. They beat us in transition and made some good plays coming in, and then they were able to pick the net on Holdy, and some of those things are going to happen throughout the game. You look at our lineup, and we look at a lot of these other teams' lines. I think they had somewhere between 12 and 14 seniors playing that night, so that's a big challenge, and they're big, strong kids.
Your lineup, let's talk about that for a minute. You are getting more healthy. You're getting more people in there. Is that hard, too, when you're getting people back in the midst of a week like this to kind of figure out, okay, where are these guys going to fit in? How are we going to play them?
The biggest challenge is if they're not hitting the ice. We take a kid, Hunter Welly, who's done, I think back to the Thief River Falls game. He was a key in that game on being able to shut Spencer Anderson down. We gave that task to Hunter, and then next thing you know, he's sick. So now he was out for about a week, and then shows up Monday, he's healthy. So you're trying to just shift him in and get his feet, get his hands, trying to get everything back ready for the game. So those are some of the challenges as you talk about a busy week like that with a lot of games. And it's nice to get a kid to touch the ice or basketball. You want him on the court handling the ball prior to a game. And just with the situation that we're in, you play the cards you're dealt and go out and give your best effort.
So coming off that Saturday game, you get a makeup game Monday at Brainerd and fall behind there with a couple of late goals by Brainerd in the opening period to take the lead. But that wound up a 3-1 game. Did you have good chances in that one? Did you feel like you were creating opportunities to try to fight back in that one?
Yeah, our kids started going. Our kids play hard. You think at the end of the day, and that's all you ask for. And scoring, so we tell them all the time, scoring's hard. And at some point, we challenged our forwards the other day. I said, look up and down our lineup. Brant Sherman, one of our senior defensive captains, 7 goals. And look at our score sheet. How many of you forwards have 7 goals? Holdy's job is to stop the puck. We've talked a lot about him. He does a tremendous job. We like how our defensemen are working. They're playing tough down low. They're getting pucks. They're working them up. They're doing their job. They're putting some pucks in the back of the net. Forwards, it's time for you guys to start to get after it a little bit harder, and we're going to challenge you guys, and you guys need to shoot the puck. There's times we get scoring areas where maybe trying to make an extra play. The only way you're going to score is to start to shoot the puck a little bit more, and the challenge here in the next couple of weeks is going to be on those forwards to try to find a way to score some goals. And if we can do that, increase those goals we're going to like our chances, and we need to get it 3, get it to 4. If we are able to do that, we've had some success in the win column.
Yeah, 6 goals in 4 games doesn't translate to wins. Yeah, you're right.
3 of them were in 1 game. So,
right.
You look at that effort against Sauk Rapids, the way that those kids climb back into it. So we know it's there. Against
the Lakers are having a pretty good year. DL had 44 shots on goal and beat you 6-2. Is this one of the better Detroit Lakes teams you've seen?
They got a top line that's really good. Easton Kennedy's really good. Symbolic's really good. Defensively, they've got 2D that play about 2/3 of the game. They play the first 2 shifts and take 1 shift off, and they move the puck. One of them's really mobile. The other one's big and strong and defends really well. And, you get a line that can score offensively like that. They drove us back on our heels. So once again, I think 2 goals in the first 3.5 minutes. And now you got to climb back in their rink and their environment and try to do that. And we did. We climbed back to 3-2 hockey game again.
Yep.
So, that's the message. We're outscored 24-11 in first periods. That's a tough way to start games. Games we've started, score the first goal, you're in the lead with the first part of the game. The result's a lot different.
Luke Johnson and Caden Zenner were involved in most of your offense the last couple of games. And those 2 guys seem to be, making some opportunities out there and converting opportunities. Luke had a goal and an assist in that game against DL. Caden assisted on a goal. And then the other night against the Storm, Sauk Rapids. I don't know why I wanted to call them Sartell. I get confused with all those towns in there. But, the Storm, Luke had 2 goals late for you. So you're starting to see some positive signs from some of your forwards.
Well, you look at challenging them, and Lukey, he was one that sure stepped up that Sauk Rapids game, putting 2 in the back of the net. He had an assist on her other goal. And then we try to remind him, both of Luke's goals, he wasn't more than 5 feet from the crease. His one in against DL, he was right in the crease. Caden scores against DL, he was right on top of the crease. Go where the puck is going to be. That we want guys to shoot the puck. That means the puck's going to be at the net. And if you want to score goals, find your way to get in there and win a puck battle.
I think from what I understand, talking to Mark Johnson, voice of Otter Hockey, you need to let your forwards maybe sing the national anthem before the game, because Drew Johnson did the other night, and then he got his first assist, first point of the season.
Yeah, what a fun night. That was senior night that night, and we were able to get those guys in the lineup. They haven't seen much action this year with Drew, and the way that even the kids that are in choir with him didn't realize he could do that. So boy, what an outstanding job. To be able to see that and then be able to come up with a really big assist on just a tremendous play down low in the third period for us. Hopefully just great memories for him on that senior night. And we're able to play Nolan Wadle in there, Simon McGovern, who's had very limited time. We're able to just kind of spot shift those guys and get them some action in that third period. And the way that they're able to step up and hopefully create some good memories. Yeah,
that's outstanding. So you've got 3 more games this week, Coach. I'm looking at it here, and it starts today. You got Mayport CG coming in for a 2:00 game. We'll have it for you on Newstalk 1250 KBRF and video streaming as well through the Ferguson Now app and the KBRF YouTube channel. Can you tell us about Mayport CG?
Well, we look at some common opponents, and scores are very competitive with every team that we play. So, at some point, hopefully, what the first key is going to be. I think from our discussion, it's going to be what are we going to do in that first 17 minutes? So, are we going to come out? And I think we can even narrow that down more. What are we going to do in the first 5 minutes? Hopefully we can come out and. Some excitement with snowball around school this week, and hopefully we can carry that energy into the rink today. And just let's put 51 minutes together. We know the compete level is going to be there. That's never an issue, and what can we do to hopefully put a full 51 minutes together?
It'd be fun to play with the lead when it's been a while. Come on, right? And you're on the road at Wilmer and at Sartell on Monday and Thursday, another Monday game. But 2 tough road teams there.
Yeah, and that Monday's been scheduled all year, so that's not a surprise with the caucus night on Tuesday. So hopefully we're a little more conditioned. Being in Brainerd last Monday, maybe that'll be a way that can help us prepare and look at how to go into a Monday hockey game. And that Wilmer game's a section game. We haven't seen them yet this year due to weather things, and I'm sure last year's playoff game is still in the back of some of these guys' head, and it should be. And then Sartell's moved into the section this year. They've been really good. They got some top scorers in the state. They're sitting at number 3 in the state right now in some of the rankings. So going in there and they're really deep. But we'll do the best we can, put a game plan together and see what we can do on Thursday. But take care of some business today, get a day off, and then face the first tough section game on Monday.
Sounds good, Coach. Thanks for coming in.
All right,
Appreciate it.
thanks. Thank you, guys.
Mike Donahue, head coach of the Otter Boys hockey team, and we'll come back, talk some swimming with Randy Hansen. Otters had a busy week there, too, so don't go away. We'll continue with the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Just when you thought the deals were done, Minnesota Motor Company is keeping the savings rolling. They may have moved the vehicles back outside, but they've extended their indoor sales savings through the end of January. Shop in confidence and drive away in a great vehicle at a great price. Stop by the dealership or contact the sales team to learn more about the great deals. Minnesota Motor. South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program, Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe, who will be giving away a $25 gift certificate here at the end of the show. And you can register for that drawing just by texting the keyword Viking to 321-1926. That's 321-1926. Seems like every interview I'm doing this morning, I'm saying, man, you had a busy week. And the same holds true for Randy Hansen and the Otter Swimmers, because 2 duels, and last Saturday you were at the True Team State Championship meet. So it has been a week for you guys.
It's been busy, yeah, but it's been good. Yeah, we've had some good meets and some good competition, so it's been fun.
So give us a review of that state competition last week and the True Team, and Reese Hansen had a great meet for you.
Yeah, well, we snuck into that wild card, which is super nice, and I knew that was an off chance, and we got the last spot. So that was really nice, because getting down there for those guys that don't ever get a chance to swim in that pool, and it's big, it's fun, it's fast, and so it was a good experience. And then those guys that are going to be down there again, in about a month, just getting back into that and championship mindset and swimming against some of the guys are going to see, at that same meet and, at the end of February. So, and Reese said he did great. The swimming has got kind of a weird thing. There's these, they're called tech suits. So they're fast basically. And, you don't wear them for every meet. They're not cheap. And they do give you an edge. And so a lot of teams, we call it just teching up. A lot of teams were teched up, and we were not, because it also gives you a mental edge when you put on like your super suit, and get ready to go. So we knew we weren't going to challenge for the team title. And so we didn't wear our tech suits. And so, that gave us a disadvantage, but that's okay. But we still really competed well. Reese swam his best time of the season, lost just barely to another guy who was wearing a tech suit. So, part of that I'm sure plays into it. But he swam well, and the relay swam pretty well. Our 4 free relay, kind of got it handed to him a little bit, but that wasn't entirely their fault. And it was a good experience.
So what does success that Reese had primarily in that 100 backstroke where he was runner up, What does that do for him looking ahead now to the state meet? He needs to qualify at sections, and I mean, it's,
Right.
you don't want to ever say it's a given
Sure.
that's going to happen, but how does that help him looking forward?
Yeah, it's huge. You know, the guys that were right next to him were some of the guys that are in the top 5 in state. You know, and the guy that beat him just barely. And again, was wearing a tech suit. And there's a Hibbing kid that's pretty fast, and he wasn't there. But it absolutely gives confidence. And of course, knowing that he wasn't wearing his tech suit, you know, is huge too. To be right there with that, and all those guys, you know, that was the message. You know, look at they dropped time, they competed hard, and they're right there, and they've still got that mental edge and that bump in their time that's going to come when they put that on at the section meet. So yeah, it's it for all those guys that are going to compete at that level at the state meet. It was huge.
So that'll be a race you won't want to miss if you're going to be at the state meet.
Yes, I think it'll be fun. So far so good. Yep.
Let's talk a little more about your relays, because your relay showed well, as you said, at that state meet last week. Are you comfortable with where you're at relay-wise right now as far as personnel and what you're putting out there?
Yeah, I mean, the medley's been pretty well set from the beginning, and the 4 free has been pretty well set from the beginning. So those two are pretty good. We're just refining things, you know, and they've done now so many exchanges and so many things together that it's just kind of automatic. You know, we almost have to tell them to slow their exchanges down a little bit because they're getting so good at them. Excuse me. So yeah, that's been good. It's just putting all the pieces together, all their best times. The 4 free relay at the True Team State meet, you know, we got behind. All those guys are wearing tech suits, and so they were ahead of us, and we were fighting. It was, if I had the video, it was just, they were surfing the whole way. I mean, it's just like swimming out in the middle of a lake. I mean, they were just fighting it. It was, and it happens, and it wasn't really anybody's fault on the team. It's just the way it worked out, and so they were not super happy with that. But that shows the competitive edge that they have. So that relay is pretty well set. The 2 free is, you know, we're still working on that one. You know, if, you know, we could put Jaden Kopinski in there, maybe, probably not, but maybe that would change that relay. We stacked it against Wilmer on Thursday because Wilmer has a really good, fast 2 free relay. We took it to him pretty nicely. So that was fun. We had put Reese and Jaden on that, which isn't the normal thing. And Reese will not be on that relay postseason because it's right before the backstroke, and that's just not going to work out. So maybe Jaden, and then we kind of go back, and Ethan Strandy and Gabe Carlson are really close in their times, but Landon, Matthew, and Lucas Toole are pretty well set. It's just a matter of, do we put Jaden on, or do we put Ethan or Gabe on? So that one's still kind of a work in progress, but we'll see.
Nice to have options.
Yeah, you know, we're feeling pretty good about, you know, where we're at as far as getting all 3 of those relays to state. Again, you know, nothing's given, got a lot of work to do, but we're in a pretty good position for all 3 of those.
Talk about Jaden and his individual events. 9th in the 100 free, 11th in the 200 IM at the state True Team. Is he on target? Do you like where he's at progress-wide this year?
Yeah, we're charting kind of where everybody's swimming now compared to where they were last year, and everybody's ahead of schedule, which is great. The relays are ahead of schedule from last year, so all of that is good, and that should be the case, right? Because they're older and smarter, and they're stronger, and yeah, Jaden's doing well. He's probably going to be in that 2 IM for state, which, again, he's like, I'll do it. It's not his favorite. It's hard. It's a hard event. And so he's, but he, you know, is qualified for state the last couple of years on it. And he's probably going to, if he doesn't make top 3 at sections, he'll make state cut more than likely. So that, you know, it's hard to turn that down. And that's, you know, his other event would be the 50 free. And that's just a dogfight. I mean, one little misstep and you're toast on that one. So that's hard. But he's coming. He's just little PR drops, little bits here and there. You know, we tweak things. We can tell these guys, fix one little thing, and they know what we're talking about, and they do it. And so their swimming IQ is just, it's really nice having guys that are old and experienced, you know, on the veterans on the team, because they just, you can do a lot of fun things with them.
How about Matthew Toole's progress in the 200 free and the 500 free? Your distance swimmer there, he seems to really grasped those two events and is doing really well. Yeah,
you know, both he and Landon have kind of traded off drops here and there. Landon's kind of had him in the 200 most of the season. Matthew's had him in the 500, but they're just right neck and neck with each other the whole time. And yeah, Matthew had a couple nice drops this past week. You know, they're again way ahead of where they were last year. And Matthew made finals in both the 2 and the 5 last year, and Landon did not. But I think he's, you know, very much in the mix to make it to state again. So that's they just work so hard. I know, and we just give them hard stuff, and they just go, and that's part of the reason they're successful, and they can just pace themselves so well. So that's super important in a distance race.
Is it kind of unusual to have two guys who are as good as they are in those two events at the same time?
It is. I mean, we just kind of count on them going 1-2 in a lot of races,
right.
you know, and it's fun when another team has one good guy and our two guys are right beside them, and it's just three of them going back up and down the pool. And that really helps that they're on par with each other, and they kind of do their thing in their lane, and Coach Zozel takes them and puts them through the paces of distance races or distance of practices, and they just feed off each other.
Otters won 2 duels this week, 2 duels that on paper you should have won, right? So 95-67 over Park Rapids, and then 100-80 last night against Wilmer. What did those 2 meets allow you to do? Did you do some experimenting or just have some fun with it? How did you approach them?
Yeah, and even last Tuesday against DL, we did the same thing. You know, DL is a little bit smaller, not quite as strong. We're pretty lucky. We're not great in numbers, but we're pretty strong at the top. And so Park Rapids is also pretty small in numbers. And so we were able to move guys in different events, like Reese swam the 500 against, Park Rapids never does that, and we put some of the guys in breaststroke. I think Matthew swam the 100 fly against Park Rapids, stuff like that. So it's fun to have them do some different things. They also want us to swim every individual event. That's kind of a little feather in their cap for the season. So we got a bunch of guys ticked off with that, got that accomplished. But as far as Wilmer goes, we swam our top lineup, minus the little tweak in the relays that we did, just because last dual meet of the year, senior night, we figured we were going to win, but it was, let's just sharpen our, sword here a little bit and see what we can do with our top events in front of our home crowd again. And so that was fun to see our guys, do their best events and swim well. And so they did. They swam great. Wilmer again isn't as strong as we are. It wasn't really in doubt, but it was just fun to see them compete hard.
So talk about your seniors.
Yeah. So it's been it's nice to have 3 guys that are just big contributors, and we'll certainly miss them next year. But that's we'll wait for that story for later. But they just have been, like I said, the kind of the heartbeat of the team is what you want your seniors to be. They've been 2-year co-captains, tri-captains, I guess the 3 of them. And they just, set the paces, and they just are, just great leaders, and then just, score a ton of points for us in the pool. And I know other teams, see what we've accomplished with those guys, and, they're rightfully worried about what we can do to them. So, and they're all 3 going to try and swim next year. So Matthew's going to go to the University of Minnesota Morris and swim down there. Their club coach, the club coach from Alexandria, is the head coach at Morris, and so that's good. And Reese is going to go to the University of Wisconsin lacrosse, swim there. So his sister goes there still and is in track, so that's part of the draw, but it wasn't the draw. And then Landon's still trying to figure it out. He's looking at maybe lacrosse, maybe Morris, maybe some other things, but he still wants to swim as well, but he hasn't quite decided. So that's nice, It's fun when they do that, and if guys want to be done too, that's okay. It doesn't hurt my feelings, but it's fun to see guys continue on, because I think there's value in teams and sports and athletics and things in college as well. Yeah.
So now you turn your attention to the conference meet next Saturday in Wilmer, and beyond that, the section meet.
Right.
So how does that affect what you're doing training-wise from this point on?
Yeah, this week will be harder again. I mean, we'll ease off towards the end, but we just swim through the conference meet. I mean, we're not going to win the team championship. We'll finish in the middle of the pack. Hopefully some guys can earn all conference honors and honorable mention honors, which we should. It's hard. I mean, we got AA teams, Alec and St. Cloud is AA and Brainerd's AA, and so that's and Sartell is Class A, but they're really good. So we'll have some really good competition and things in there. Those be some good races, and unfortunately, it's one of those limited meets, so I only get so many swimmers per event, and so we're just getting to that time of the year where some guys are going to be doing less competition, but that's just kind of the way that goes. But we're going to continue to train. They're going to train hard today. We really trained them hard yesterday, so they get another hard one today, which I know they're excited about. And then Monday and Tuesday will be fairly difficult, and then we'll kind of ease off just a titch, but we got to keep the pedal down until we start taper here in about a week or so.
All right. Yeah. And next week we can look a little closer at your postseason lineup.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks, Randy.
All right. Thank you.
Randy Hansen, busy week again for the Otter swimmers. We will take a timeout. We'll come back with more Otter Girls basketball up next with Josh Steer joining us on the Coaches Show presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Just when you thought the deals were done, Minnesota Motor Company is keeping the savings rolling. They may have moved the vehicles back outside, but they've extended their indoor sales savings through the end of January. Shop in confidence and drive away in a great vehicle at a great price. Stop by the dealership or contact the sales team to learn more about the great deals.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the show. Hey, don't forget to text the keyword Viking to 321-1926, okay? And we'll have a drawing here shortly to see who wins that $25 gift certificate from the Viking Cafe. So 321-1926 is the number to text the keyword Viking to for your chance to win. Well, Jess Price is here to talk Otter Girls basketball. I just teased it by saying Josh Steer's in the, but he isn't. He's sleeping in today, I'm sure.
So.
Yeah, right. Jess is, how long have you been an assistant now with Josh?
I think this is my 5th year. When he started as head coach,
okay.
I started with him.
That's 5 years ago already.
I know, yeah.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun, yeah. And you're having fun right now.
Yeah, we are having a lot of fun.
Well, let's see. The Otter Girls are 14-4.
Correct, yep.
And your defense is really kind of, coming through here. In the last 2 games, you held opponents to 38 and less than that.
19 maybe?
17.
17
27.
Maybe. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, it was in the teens, I think.
Yeah, 52-7 halftime lead, 17 points to Sauk Rapids. So tell me about the defense right now and why it's so efficient.
Right, yeah. Well, at the beginning of the year, we kind of stressed it a lot, and we came out really hot, and then we kind of laxed off a little bit, and then we've just made it a big point in practice we need to get after teams and have a lot of ball pressure and make things really hard for other teams to get points, just because we're better in transition, getting the ball out there, and if we can create a lot of turnovers by making teams play fast, that's kind of what we want to do, and so that we can get out and run.
I've got to think that the aggressive defense that you play just gives the opposing teams fits that you just wear them down by the end of the game.
Yes, we do. That's kind of part of the goal, is just to wear them down and run them off the floor, essentially.
Right. And you've been able to do that, and you've got a number of girls who have stepped up for you. And I think, too, Jess, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it seems like you've developed some depth, too, that you are confident going, 7, 8, maybe even 9 deep.
Sometimes. The last game we didn't get to do that so much, but we're hoping that we can start to get there with getting that depth there, because we're going to need it down the stretch as playoffs come.
It seems like when people get plugged in, they respond for you. I'm thinking of the progress made by Presley Warren and Reese Keel and Elizabeth Clinert. They've all just stepped up their game, and I think are getting more and more comfortable as a part of the varsity team.
Yeah, I think so. And you can kind of see it in their faces and in their body language, how they've changed a little bit, and they're just more confident when they're playing. And it's really great to see that progression from them.
Let's switch to the offensive side. Against Detroit Lakes, You won 57-38. You did not shoot the ball that well, but you still figure out a way to get points, and a lot of that maybe comes from second chance opportunities because you hit the boards well, and it seems like that stat is always in your favor.
It is, yeah. Slow start for us that night, but defensively it kept us in the game because the other team couldn't score as well. So then in the second half we just kind of picked it up, and we crashed the board really hard. We stressed rebound, and the more opportunities we can get, second chance, third chance points, the more likelihood we have a chance to win the game.
Carly Hurst, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Hattie Fullhart, 7 points, 10 rebounds. She's always got 10 rebounds.
Yeah, she's one of our best rebounders. She's always got a nose for the ball. She just knows how to read it off the rim.
Right, and Presley had 7 rebounds that night, so that's the other thing. You're not relying on 1 or 2 people to rebound. Everybody's rebounding.
Yeah, which is nice because then it's that much harder for other teams to box out just because we have so many kids crashing hard.
And it seems, too, that as Ruby Ellison goes offensively, so goes your offense. I mean, if she's on one night, you're going to score points.
Yes, we are going to score points. And she doesn't always get a slow start. We've been trying to stress you need to get on the boards or get some points early, just get yourself rolling. And once she does, other kids just feed off of it, and it's just kind of contagious. It's fun to see. It's fun to watch.
And she had 20 in that game and against DL.
Yep.
DL had a gal, Ava Smith. Is that her name? Yeah, Ava Smith.
Yep.
Who was over 6 feet tall, and she caused some problems.
She did. She's a great rebounder, and she's athletic, and she can jump, so she's tough to guard.
Yeah, and that's okay, isn't it? You like a challenge like that.
It is good. It's good for us to have to work against that and figure out how to box out of that, and there's just how to guard that type of athleticism.
And I don't know, you held DL to 38, so I don't know if they've had a lot of other contributions. Sophie Karlgaard, I know, had 21 points that night for them, but DL didn't seem to have a lot of depth.
Yeah, they didn't shoot the ball all that well, and they have a couple kids that didn't shoot the ball well that night that usually can. So I think that just goes to show that our defensive pressure kind of got to them and made it hard for them to score.
We were talking with Mike Donahue a little while ago about slow starts and how the Otter hockey team has just had trouble getting out of the gates. That doesn't seem to be the case for you, and it's because of your defense. You held DL to 14 first half points, and then you held Sauk Rapids Rice to 7 first half points. You put teams in a real tough position at halftime.
Right, yeah. So if we come out to that kind of a hard stop or a good start, if we can keep teams from scoring, that's kind of our goal. Just we always set a scoring goal for them, like what we want to hold them under, and we try to hold our kids accountable to that and make them work really hard to get that goal.
When you played, Jess, you were on some really good teams, had some great years. I don't know if you ever had a team that scored 41 straight points in a game, but that's what you guys did.
I saw that. I don't think that's ever happened for me before. I can guarantee that.
That's a lot of possessions.
That is.
Where you held the other team to nothing.
Right. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it has to be so frustrating to go in the locker room like that when you haven't scored for 41 straight possessions.
Yes.
But that enabled you to do a number of things. You certainly had the big lead, but you also got to do some things in the second half, rest some players for a while, move some other players in. And as a coach, I know, and you've worked with these JV kids too, and it's so rewarding to see them get the opportunity to get out there in varsity time and contribute.
It is. It's kind of fun. We got to empty the bench, and we had a couple kids get their first varsity points that night. So that was a lot of fun to see too. It's good. It's good to see that. It's good to see. It's exciting to watch the bench as those kids get to have those opportunities and get to score those first points. They're the ones that are cheering the most.
Right. Yeah. You get your starters watching the backups of people they see in practice all the time, and they're cheering for them. They're their biggest fans right now. So
pretty much.
Grace Black. Let's talk about Grace because she has also had some good scoring opportunities. Had 10 points for you the other night in that win over Sauk Rapids Rice. Where's Grace's strength on the court, Jess?
She's a really great ball handler, and she's a really good passer. And it's fun to watch her see that. And she gets the lane really well, and then she doesn't panic when she gets in there, and she just kind of keeps calm and finds an open person to pass to if she doesn't have a shot. She's just a really great passer.
All right. She's been in the mix a lot, so that's fun to see. I have to ask you now, since you're Mom, also, you're seeing some kids, some of your kids get an opportunity here to play some minutes. So tell me about that emotion.
That's kind of fun to see. It's been actually really fun just to see them play together. That doesn't happen very often, I don't think, in basketball or in sports for that much. But it's been fun to watch them play and be teammates and rather than just sisters and have the opportunities that they have.
So does the conversation at home turn to basketball very often?
No, not a whole lot.
Really?
Sometimes it does, but not a lot. There's lots of other things going on. It's kind of wild at home, but yeah, they do a good job, and they're good teammates to each other, and they're good sisters to each other. So that's kind of fun.
So just out of curiosity here, are they different types of players?
Yeah, I would say so. They're also very different to, like, kind of, I don't know, opposite of each other essentially.
Okay.
The one's a little more aggressive in the offensively, and the other one is more defensive. Well, they're both defensive pressure kind of a thing, but the other one's more ball handling kind of a thing, and the other one, she's just going to get points off the boards kind of a thing.
Okay. I'll bet you're enjoying that whole process, huh? Yeah, and Grandma and Grandpa, I'm sure, are
Yep,
too.
they are.
Hard to believe, though. They get old fast, don't they? I mean, here they are playing
makes me old.
high school ball, you know? Yeah, Jess was an outstanding player for the odds. What year did you graduate?
Oh, I had to repeat.
No, I guess you don't.
Can I say that?
I could
just a
find
couple
it.
years ago.
Yeah, okay. But boy, some good teams there. I was just, fun to watch you play. But okay, so this week, looking ahead, Monday at Brainerd. That's always a tough place to play.
Yeah, they got us here too. We came out great, and then we kind of fell apart when they come to their 1-3-1, and we only had a little walkthrough on it, and now we're prepared. We've done a lot to prepare for them, so we're ready to see it. Yeah.
Talking about that with Matt earlier, how I just love the conference format where you get to play teams twice, home and home, and then you get to see, where are we going to improve? How are we going to turn around what we did bad the first time? And that's always fun, isn't it?
It is a lot of fun. So we'll have to see what we can come up with when we get there. We're hoping to pull it out, so we'll see. It'll be a good game.
I'm excited to see how it goes as well. Now, Thursday, you're home. You have Wilmer. That's at the old Roosevelt Gym.
It is.
Which I love.
I do too. It's my favorite one.
Yeah, and that's Thursday night. How about Wilmer? What do you think about that matchup?
That'll be a good matchup too, because they want to come here and win. They want to beat us. They're a section opponent, conference opponent. They're going to come out with some fire and some energy. So we got to just be prepared for them and make sure that we do what we do and get on top of it right away.
And then you go to Sauk Rapids Friday for the rematch of
turnaround.
Yeah, and that's got to be hard. I don't know. You just handled the team, manhandled the team. That they could do nothing against you. I don't know. You're still going to want to play because it's a game,
right? Yeah, that's the hard part. Just staying disciplined and not doing silly things that just get us to where we don't want to be. We don't want to make any or play lazily or just reach in and do those kind of silly things where we're just not out of our system that we usually do. So it's just one thing that we stress to just be disciplined in how we play, and how we play doesn't, or who we play doesn't change how we play. That's Steer's big thing that he goes with, and I think it's a really great phrase to play off of.
Yeah, absolutely. You still want to play the way you play.
Yeah, play our way.
All right. Jess, thanks so much for pinch hitting here for Coach Steer. Yep, and I hope he's getting his good rest. And
I hope so.
And we'll look forward to seeing the finish here. 14-4. That's got to be fun too. What a great year for the Otters. And Snowball Week, I suppose, has been interesting too. So always is. So, all right. Thanks, Jess.
That sounds good. Thank you.
Enjoy it. Jess Price, the assistant coach to Josh Steer of the Otter girls basketball team. We're going to talk girls hockey next, and we have Hillcrest boys basketball coming up a little later on, as we've got another 30 minutes to go. We'll also, after the next interview, draw for that $25 gift certificate from the Viking. You still have one more chance here to text the keyword Viking to 321-1926 for your chance to win. Don't go away. More to come on the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe, with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Just when you thought the deals were done, Minnesota Motor Company is keeping the savings rolling. They may have moved the vehicles back outside, but they've extended their indoor sales savings through the end of January. Shop in confidence and drive away in a great vehicle at a great price. Stop by the dealership or contact the sales team to learn more about the great deals.
Minnesota Motor.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back to the program. We're going to talk Otter girls hockey now. The head coach, Isaac Vatnsdal, is with us, and one more regular season game, and it's Monday night, and then the playoffs begin on Thursday, although the Otters, you're not going to play Thursday night. You're going to be a top 2 seed, right?
Yeah, likely, yeah.
So you'll be into the semifinals.
Yep.
The following week.
Yeah, I think it's that next Tuesday after that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, when you look at it, and you've had a lot of schedule shifts this year with the weather and postponements and rescheduling, this kind of turned out okay, didn't it, to have Brainerd on the schedule Monday, because otherwise you would have had a long
time
break. Yeah.
Yeah, and keeping the motivation and keeping you kind of focused gets hard when you have to do that. So I think having that postponement and have that go for Monday, I think was a good thing. It was fine.
Well, and Brainerd, Little Falls, will they give you a good battle heading into playoffs? That'll be a good matchup to have.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good. Yeah, I think it'll be a good one that'll kind of test what we've been trying to get them to kind of answer to. So I think it'll be a good last game.
Okay, let's look at this past week, and it started out with Alexandria beating the Otters 6-2, and what had to be a real frustrating finish for you because you're down 2-1 after 2 periods, and they scored 4 goals in the third. And what was the main reason that happened? Was it fatigue? Was it just turnovers of the puck or aggressiveness on their part?
I would say it was a combination of both, and I think we played really well to our game in the defensive zone the first and second period. We did a really good job of shutting them down in the neutral zone. They didn't really have a lot of plays to be able to get into the offensive zone themselves. And, when I was watching both the KBRF video and then also the Alexandria feed afterwards, even Alexandria was saying that we were doing a really good job of kind of bottling up the neutral zone and not having to force Alexandria to reset, so they couldn't really get a good opportunity to come in. But, then we do get a little bit tired. We start running around. But, it's kind of, I don't think you get tired and then you run around. I think you run around and then you get tired, right? So when we're running around trying to do too much, especially in the D zone, I think that kind of, it kind of got us a little tired. And that Alex is a good team. They have good depth, so they capitalized on that. And then all of a sudden, they're 6 on the board. So.
Were you getting some good scoring opportunities at all in that time period?
Yeah, in the third period, I would say probably not as much as what we would have liked. But I think overall, that first and second period, we had some really good scoring chances. And it feels like that's kind of been the theme all year, having good chances, just not quite bearing them. And they're starting to happen, but it's just not, maybe at the most opportune time, or maybe if we can get one early, it'd be nice, but just seem to miss it just a little bit.
Avery Tonneson got a goal from Aubrey Nelson for you in that one. They worked well together.
Yeah, that was a fantastic goal, and we made that change maybe 2 weeks ago to be able to change the lines up a little bit. But that was the thing I was most proud about with that goal is just the fact that they were going full speed, going hard to the net, going hard to the puck, passed it great, finished great. And, we've been working on that all year, and to see that happen and happen now was, very, very nice to see.
What was also nice to see was your win over Detroit Lakes, that 8-1 win. You had 8 different goal scorers, and 11 different kids had at least 1 point in that game. And every now and then, you love to have a game like that where everybody's involved.
Well, everyone's involved, and I think the goals that we were scoring were nice to have happen too, because it allows them to see it visually happen, instead of missing all the time or just kind of getting down on themselves. And it is nice to see that, to show them, hey, we can bury a team in comparison to just letting them hang around, because it doesn't matter who you're playing if you play down to the level that they're potentially at. You look at Alexandria, they didn't. When we got kind of tired, they didn't stop. They kept going, right? So when we played DL, we could have very easily just let them kind of hang around, but we decided not to, which was nice to see them finish a game. But it was nice to be able to see everyone kind of get involved in that too.
Getting your second wind is a real thing, and until you experience it, I mean, coaches can talk about it all the time. There's more in the tank. When you think it's empty, it isn't. You've got more there. But once the player experiences that and understands that, then I think you see that happen more, where they are going hard, playing through that.
Which is, a great segue coming into our last game when we were down and playing River Lakes, which I don't want to steal your thunder and going into that. So
no, that's fine.
But that is what we can talk about that a little bit. But that is what happened, 100%.
Yeah, because you were down to River Lakes and fought back and almost caught them.
Yeah, and it was. It was one of those things in the conversation in between the periods where, I can only say so much that we're getting better, because at some point in time, it's not going to matter what I say, because it's going to be over.
Right.
Right. I look at even this week, we only have 6 periods left. That's of an opportunity. And, we have 9 if we're lucky. So, you got to really look at this and say, am I doing everything I possibly can to be able to make sure that the team is successful and the shift is a win? And if we're not, you got to look at yourself and ask yourself why, because you're going to regret the fact that you didn't give 100% and giving 100% in the right way. And when we played River Lakes, we just didn't, they had an early goal that was kind of just an unfortunate thing that happens 15 seconds in, which doesn't help.
Right.
But, they had 20 shots in the first and second in total. We had 16. And in the third, we didn't just start playing harder. We started playing different and doing the things that we should have been doing, the first and second. And when they started doing that, we were in the offensive zone the entire time. Our goalie didn't have a shot in the third. We ended up with 26. We had 10 or 10 plus or whatever it ended up being, and they had 0. So we completely shut them down. And we had many, many people, River Lakes coaches involved, saying, if you play like that, you will have no problem, right? Yeah. So it's just getting them to believe that and understand it and see it and have confidence to execute.
Yeah. And you're also, I think, with the 8 goals against Detroit Lakes and then rallying and scoring as you did in the third period and scoring 4 goals against River Lakes, you're going to be seeing more and more confidence from some of your offensive players.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And they have it. They have the ability to be able to make sure to get that to happen. And I really just truthfully believe that when we're getting closer and closer and closer to the end, it kind of elevates your ability to say, let's go, and that's where your adrenaline starts kicking in and you get your heart rate going a little bit, and it forces you to kind of step up, and they know what to do. Things have now become habitual. If I ask them where they should be, they answer right away in the correct way. So they just need to trust their instincts and start playing and just go hard. And they're starting to see it, but they just need to start doing it right away. And go all the way through.
Well, hopefully that carries over from that third period against River Lakes to the first period against Brainerd.
Yes.
On Monday night, and then moving on into the playoffs as well.
And for practice all week when we don't have a game.
That's right. That's always a challenge too, right? All of a sudden, you play 3 or 4 games a week, you hardly have a practice, and now you're going to have like a whole week plus to practice.
Yes. Yeah, and I was just telling Arneson when we were at breakfast this morning, I said, I woke up early. I, went to bed early, but I was exhausted from the week. But I'm like, I'm going to sleep in today. And I woke up at 5:45. I'm like, this is brutal. And, in doing that, though, the first thought I had was thinking about next week of how to prepare, because that's the one thing that, especially at the high school level, it's done for some of these girls in a week or two, potentially.
Right.
And you want to be able to make sure as a coach to make sure that it's successful for them, to be able to at least put them in a chance to be able to get somewhere. And you don't want to be the reason why you're not prepared for them not to do that. So that kind of is starting to weigh heavier on me,
Sure.
as the days come by, as a first-year high school coach, because the Bantams, they get to go on to high school, right? These
Right.
girls are done.
Right.
So the sense of seriousness is the tone is a little bit different.
Having brought us there to your first playoff run as a head coach, how much do you lean on your seniors in a situation like this? And you're new to it too.
Yeah.
But, how much do you have a conversation with them about what you're just talking about, that this season is your last? I mean, it's going to end.
Yeah, we've definitely been talking about that a lot more the last couple weeks because the juniors, the sophomores, and anybody else who's playing on the team or anybody part of our overall group, they need to understand that they're not playing just for themselves. They're playing for the people who aren't going to be able to come back next year, right? So there is no next year. The next year is next week.
Right.
And that's, really kind of getting them to understand, like, there is no better time than now. We've really been talking about that a lot. So, yeah, we have had some of those conversations with the seniors to really make sure that they focus and sleep good. And, there's not that much time left. It's 3 weeks that we're hoping for, but it's not promised. So,
Right.
And you're not entitled to anything,
But your section is certainly winnable. You're going to be a first round bye. You have to win 2 games to get to state. So, that'll be interesting.
I think it'll be fun. And I think the nice thing is we've had girls who have gone to state for a number of years. We have some experience there. They know what it takes to be in big games, to have to overcome that and win that. So I'm hoping some of that leadership comes out, and the seriousness and the tone changes, and it doesn't change. Amplifies. I guess it would be a better way to say that coming into playoffs.
So you've had 2 goalies, LSM and Olivia Juergens have, both played a lot of games for you this year. What's the strategy at playoff time as far as a goalie goes? Do you choose one to carry you through the playoffs? Do you rotate them? Do you just kind of play it as you feel it?
We've gone back and forth, and as a coaching staff, I think it's always hard to be able to make that decision because you see the work ethic from both of them. You know them personally, and then you have to kind of remove yourself from the personal side, and because you want what's best for both of them, and as for any player, not just for the goalies. But it's harder too because you have to look at that and say, okay, what's going to give us the best opportunity to be able to win? And it's really been day by day, and I think we'll kind of, as we get closer, we'll kind of narrow that out and say, okay, here's where we're going to go with, and we're going to keep having that conversation with the goalies. We've kind of have an idea, but we'll kind of keep that to coming into the next couple weeks.
All right, fair enough. That's your prerogative as a head coach.
Yeah,
the media guessing. That's it.
That's right.
Well, Isaac, thanks for coming in, and good luck in your regular season finale, and get everybody healthy. That's the good thing about a little break before the playoffs. You can nurse any minor bumps and bruises and scrapes that you have, and right now, hopefully, the Otters are in pretty good physical shape.
We're in good physical shape. We haven't really had a lot of illness that we've had to, knock on wood, worry about. But I think we gave them a day off today. We were joking about that before. We went and had we had a team breakfast because they have snowball and everything else.
At the Viking, by the way.
Yeah, at the Viking. That's right. But we had a breakfast this morning and just told them to relax and just have a day off, because it's mentally and emotionally draining. They had 5 games in the last 7 days. It's a lot. So we're trying to allow them to kind of recover a little bit, and then we'll have a game on Monday, and then we'll do the same thing coming into the week and make sure that we're ready to play then the week after.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Craig.
Isaac Vatnsdal, head coach of the Otter girls hockey team. One more go around. Sam Nash is here, assistant coach for the Hillcrest boys basketball team, and we'll finish up the program with Sam and also tell you who wins that $25 Viking Cafe gift certificate when we come back on the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Just when you thought the deals were done, Minnesota Motor Company is keeping the savings rolling. They may have moved the vehicles back outside, but they've extended their indoor sales savings through the end of January. Shop in confidence and drive away in a great vehicle at a great price. Stop by the dealership or contact the sales team to learn more about the great deals.
Minnesota, Minnesota Motors.
South Pebble Lake Road, Fergus Falls.
Lake Region Healthcare knows what all coaches know. It takes tons of teamwork, great amounts of grit, and heaps of hustle to triumph. Lake Region Healthcare, supporting and celebrating our high school athletes.
Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls is proud to sponsor area athletics. Nelson Auto knows the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto Center in Fergus Falls.
Running Stitches Embroidery in Fergus Falls is West Central Minnesota's leader in high-quality screen printing and custom embroidery. Whether you're looking for a one-of-a-kind custom job or need to outfit the entire team, Running Stitches Embroidery will be there when you need them.
What's your number?
I drove 60 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota. I drove 45 miles to get a great deal from Quality Toyota.
Quality Toyota.
The key to a great meal is at the Viking Cafe of Fergus Falls. The Viking Cafe with Minnesota's best omelet, manhole cover pancakes, and burgers that will fill your appetite. The key to a great breakfast and lunch is at the Viking Cafe, downtown Fergus Falls.
Welcome back and congratulations to John Shaw from Otter Tail. He is the winner of our Viking Cafe $25 gift certificate. John, thanks for viewing or listening and for participating. And congratulations on winning breakfast from the Viking or lunch from the Viking, whatever you want from the Viking for $25. Sam had, I think, the omelet already this morning.
It was awesome. Ham and cheese. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
You know, be fed by Viking. So
Absolutely. Yeah. It's always a thrill for me to pick up the breakfast in the morning because I never know what it's going to be from week to week. So it
was great. Thank you, Viking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Sam Nash is assisting Donovan Rognes on the Hillcrest bench for the boys basketball team, which is 11-4 now. And had a great week. Winning at Breckenridge was a tremendous win, and then winning in Underwood was a tremendous win. And last night, taking care of business against Battle Lake. Mm-hmm. And what's really, I think, encouraging, I think, for Hillcrest fans about this week, Sam, is you beat good teams on the road.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not easy.
Yeah, we played some of our best. I would say we've been playing some of our best basketball this week, and it's for us. It always starts defensively. And our energy and the way we come out. I think that first half against Breck, specifically just the way we came out right out of the gate with defensive pressure that leads to, we get our offensive energy off of our defense. And we came out right away in that Breck game and quite honestly put the game away within the first 10 minutes. And it was fun to see the boys play together that way. So it's what we've been hoping to see all season.
Well, and I would think you get a 14-point halftime lead like you had that night. And, boy, you talk about an uphill battle trying to come back against that defense that the Comets put out there.
Yes.
That's a tough assignment for any opposing team.
It is. And Breck is a super physical team, a super athletic team. They are so good on the dribble drive, coming to the basket. And so the boys executed the game plan really well. And just the physicality that we played with was just something fun that was fun to see during that game. So.
And you had a pretty good performance out of Lincoln Nash that night too. Lincoln didn't miss.
Yeah,
from
it's
the
fun
field.
as a dad, right? When you can watch your, just you got to enjoy the basketball. But even as a dad, to watch him in that game, Lincoln shot perfect from the floor. I think he missed one free throw. That was his only miss. But you just those that have played, sometimes you get in that groove, and it's like, I can't miss today, and that's what Lincoln said, and that's the way he felt, and it was fun to watch him play that way.
Yeah, 19 points for you and perfect day from the field. So great performance. And Sean Berge, 18 points, 8 rebounds. Sean has just been kind of automatic.
It's so fun to watch Sean play. I mean, he is just the way he sees the court, the way he attacks the basket. He's really done really well, just like picking his moments to attack off the dribble drive, and just has really finished well around the basket. And so, he's been our high point output guy night in, night out. And, that comes with what teams know that too. So teams are trying to take that away. And so it's been fun to watch him work through that and find out unique ways to still be the point output guy that we need each game.
And I would think, too, as an opposing coach and players, it's got to be frustrating when you're executing a game plan and trying to deny, let's say, Sean, which nobody's been able to do too well, when other guys step up, like Ethan that night. Ethan Swedberg had 11 points and 11 rebounds. Kean Stender had 8 points.
Yes.
So if somebody is kind of slowed down in your offensive plan, there's going to be somebody else to pick up the slack.
It's super key. And you even look at Underwood and even what happened last night against Battle Lake. We have Will Selvig, who's a sophomore, and Sam Swinson, who's a junior. That it's a skill to be able to come off a bench, sitting there for 8 minutes, and then be in the right spot to knock down critical threes, and that's playing out for us. And so when you try and take away someone like Sean and Lincoln, who they know they're going to key in on, and even Ethan, we've had other guys step up and hit critical shots when we've needed within our offense.
67-58 was the final against Breck, and then against Underwood, you had only a 2-point lead at halftime in that one. So what turned the tide in your favor in the second half?
Well, we were in foul trouble in the first half, so that was a critical part of that game. We had both Sean and Lincoln both had two early fouls, so just critical. Honestly, the big part of that game was just staying tight to get to halftime, and so Griffin House coming off the bench, Will and Sam. I mentioned. They kept that game close, and then in the second half, Sean took over. I think Sean had, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like 18 or 19 points second half. Lincoln had 10, and so we weathered that first half storm, and then was able to kind of take the game over in the second half.
Yeah,
but
Sean,
Underwood's a great team. I mean, they're very disciplined, and they cause you into that foul trouble a lot of time. By the way, they're very disciplined on the offensive end. So.
Yeah, Kellen's team has been really playing well. They had an 8-game winning streak coming into your game. So
we knew we were going to have a hard battle that game.
Right. And Sean that night, you mentioned 19 in the second half. He had 25 for the night, and he was 8 for 10 on the free throw line. And your guys are shooting the ball so well. 44% from beyond the arc in the win over Breckenridge. I don't know what you shot in that win over Underwood, but second half must have been pretty good.
It was very good. Yeah. Especially from the 3-point line. I think we've been really efficient, and that really comes, I think, from we've really been working on spacing and, inside out threes and just making sure that we call it gold medal shots, but, it comes from the right places and the right timing in the shot clock. And when we're in rhythm like that, we knock down a good clip of threes. So it's great.
Confident shooting for sure. Yeah. And listening to Jason Retzloff last night on the game, he was commenting about Will Selvig, who you mentioned, and Will had 12 points last night and such key minutes. And last night you were without Ethan Swedberg, so you had to have other guys step up.
Yes, yeah. Ethan had some injuries, and so he's going to be out. He was out last game, probably will be out today against Park Christian, and we needed people like Griffin House who got his first varsity start, came in and played just some really critical minutes. I think had like six offensive boards in the first half. And so
nice.
When you have someone like Ethan, you're missing about 10 plus rebounds a game. And so the team, one of our keys was like, we all got to make up for about 15 rebounds, that Ethan contributes to. And I think the team really stepped up and did some more team-based focus on rebounding, and that was key in that game last night.
Well, you're on a 4-game winning streak right now, and again, the old verse, iron sharpens iron, and you've been playing teams that have sharpened your skill, I'm sure, with the wins over Breck and Underwood primarily this week. And you've got another test today with Park Christian.
We do, yep. Oh, it's always a battle with Park. Yeah. Every year we do a big weekend battle with Park across all of our girls and boys teams. So it's fun to have all the girls and boys in one gym playing games and series, and we know it's going to be a battle tonight. They're a good athletic team, one of the top teams in the section, and so it's going to take our best basketball tonight to win.
The section, Sam. I mean, you've still got regular season games here. And it's going to mean who's going to be seated where, how it plays out here over the month of February. But this section, I'm getting excited about it already, and even though it's a month away.
Yeah, I mean, just there's 8 to 10 teams in our section that all are extremely good Class A teams. I mean, at the top, Henning and Pelican. You have Benson that's 13-0. And then, like some of the ones that are closer to us too, Underwood's, right there.
West Central's
West
in
Central, yes. So
Park Christian.
not only just the Little League conference day in, day out, but our section is just extremely strong and it's fun basketball. So it's really, I appreciate the fact we get to plan it because every night, even a Battle Lake team that has 2 wins on the season, it's like, You get in the gym against someone like Braxton Cameron, and he just muscles his way to the hoop, and you're gonna have a battle every night, and it's fun. So,
yeah, Battle Lake has maybe doesn't have the greatest record, but they are a competitive team, and they'll give you all you want.
Yes, yeah,
for sure. I mean, they scored 72 on you.
Yes.
You had to score a lot of points to beat them last night.
Yeah, and just that stopping Braxton, and they're a good team.
Yeah,
and well coached.
Yeah, absolutely. So Park Christian tonight, and then Monday you've got Hancock, and the Owls are, they're competitive also.
Yes, yeah. We put Hancock and Underwood and us are kind of the top 3 teams in terms of record right now in the Little League Conference, and so, Hancock's been playing very good basketball. They do a lot of zone concept and unique things that you don't see every game, so you have to prepare and execute well to battle in a game like that against them. So.
And they have some well-rounded athletes.
Yes.
I mean, they don't rely on 1 or 2 guys to lead them. You never know who's going to lead them.
Yes, yeah. Luca Felix is kind of their main guard, and then they have a couple other post players and some young guys that are coming on too, really strong. So we know it's going to be a battle. And
Preston Kistjan is good, and then the names all escape me, but they're very good. Cruz Millette is a post player that's tough, and that'll be a fun matchup Monday. And then Thursday it's Rothsay, and the Tigers, they've been really good. Jason Haas has a nice team over in Rothsay.
Yeah, we haven't played them yet this season, so we got two games against Rothsay to end the season, but we've been following them a little bit, and I haven't watched too much film, but we know that they've been having a really good season and give other teams a battle each night.
And we've got double-digit wins there, and I'll just ask Derek if this is their best year in Rothsay for a long time with double-digit wins on the basketball floor. It's been quite a while, but that's a very solid program. So, well, it's another challenging week, right? Just what we want.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know the prognosis of Ethan as far as his return or not?
Not definitively. I mean, we think at least, it'll be the 2 games here this weekend and hoping to have him back at the end of the week. Hopefully it's not going to linger on too much longer. So, yeah. Okay.
You like what you're seeing from your younger kids, the JV team, the C squad? How are they doing?
Yeah. I mentioned a few of the names, Micah Rasmussen, Drake Veldhaus, Will Sam, even Sawyer Draxton, all these guys, on any other, I would say it maybe like this, on any other Little League conference team, these guys are probably starters, on other teams, and they're playing really well. It's been fun to watch the JV team continue to develop, and I think some really competitive basketballs played before the varsity each night, and those guys are all growing, so it's going to be fun to watch them continue to develop, and we can kind of see our team for next year, at play before we play the varsity game each night.
And I know you treasure home games, and playoffs, the seedings are going to be important there because home games are going to be the norm in the playoffs this year. And you're not going to have as many neutral sites. I think semis and finals are it for neutral. So being at home is a huge advantage at Hillcrest, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Great environment. Like last night, we didn't overlap with the girls, so we had all of our fans there, and we can play in our home environment and the comfortable confines of our place. It seems like our output is always a little bit more positive. But we like going on the road too, and we've had some good success there too, and that hardens and fortifies a little bit of our team culture to be ready for inevitably a tough playoff run.
Well, and boy, the success that you guys had, of course, in football, we've talked about that with Donovan and I think with you before too, that carries over. They're confident athletes, and they probably love to go in and show the opposing team on their home floor that, hey, we're pretty good.
Yes, yeah. It's fun that way. And, just the senior leadership, it's, this team is so composed, and so there's very little things at this point that rattles us. We usually can call a timeout and get everyone level set and ready to, battle again in a very confident and composed way.
Sam, thanks for coming in today. Enjoy the day at Park Christian. Should be fun.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Sam Nash, assistant coach to Donovan Rogness with the Hillcrest boys basketball team, concluding our coaches show for today. Congratulations to John Shaw, the winner of the $25 gift certificate from the Viking Cafe. And we got, 5 more shows left, so join us next Saturday from 8 to 9:30 here on Newstalk 1250 KBRF and streaming live through the Fergus Now app and the KBRF YouTube channel for the Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe.
Thank you for joining us for the Newstalk 1250 KBRF Coaches Show, presented by the Viking Cafe and brought to you by the Minnesota Motor Company, Lake Region Healthcare, Nelson Auto Center, Quality Toyota, and